You know that feeling when you have an idea and you're kind of hesitant to share it? You're not sure how people will react. But then it turns out to be the exact thing everyone wanted to talk about? Well, that's pretty much how one of the clearest explainers on artificial intelligence got started. It all began with a simple offer that sparked a really important conversation about AI and where we all fit into it. So picture this. It's March 2023. ChatGPT is everywhere in the news. And author Ruth Stalker Firth is at her local Women's Institute meeting. It was online that day because of a tube strike. She thought about offering to give a talk, but she was a little nervous. And you could see why, right? I mean, the WI has talks on everything. Sword fencing, making kombucha, museum trips, landscape gardening. She was thinking, would a group of women really want to spend an evening learning about artificial intelligence? Does that even fit in here? Well, the WIP president's answer was instant, and it was awesome. She called it a bloody brilliant idea. And that response just perfectly captures the whole spirit of the Women's Institute, which is all about sharing skills and experiences to be a force for good. That one enthusiastic yes was what kicked this whole mission off. That whole experience really cemented a core belief for the author, that it's absolutely vital that everyone, and especially women, understands how AI and software actually work. Because, and this is the key, technology is never neutral. So here's the big idea. Anytime you introduce new software, whether it's just an app on your phone or a huge new system at your job, you are fundamentally changing how people live and work. Now, that change could be for the better, or it could be for the worse. And that, right there, is a political act. It has real-world consequences. So, if technology is a political act, then who gets a say in it? These changes really should benefit everybody. But think about this. Women make up 50% of the population, but they are still a major minority in the tech industry that's building all these tools. So their informed voices are absolutely essential to make sure this new tech serves all of us, not just a handful of people. But it's not like it's easy for women to just catch up on their own. The author points out some really significant barriers, things like unequal pay, a serious lack of visible role models, and even when those role models exist, we just don't hear their stories. Then there's the need for supportive communities, tribes, and the simple fact that a lot of information about tech is just really badly explained. And let's be honest, part of what makes AI so confusing is that it has been surrounded by hype from day one. Researchers have been, let's just say, a little overly optimistic for decades now. A quick peek at the history of AI really shows you how this cycle got started. Okay, so the term artificial intelligence itself, that was coined way back in 1956. By 1968, a famous researcher named Marvin Minsky had designed the first robot arm. Things felt like they were moving so fast, which led Minsky to make a really, really bold prediction in 1970. But just 2 years after that, reality came crashing down, and the first AI winter started when all the funding got pulled. And this is the perfect example of that hype. In 1970, Minsky told Life magazine that within a decade, we'd have a machine as smart as an average human. This is the guy who advised Stanley Kubrick on the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. He was totally swept up in the vision. This prediction was so out there that another brilliant scientist, Lofty Zadeh, he invented something called fuzzy logic, went up to Minsky and asked him about it. He didn't have some complex argument. He just asked this simple, devastating question. Why did you say that? And Minsky's answer is just perfect. He didn't even try to defend it. He just said, I don't know, I just got carried away. And that moment just captures everything about how the researchers themselves were believing their own hype, creating this whole myth around AI that honestly still exists today. So while guys like Minsky were getting carried away and making all the headlines, there was another story unfolding, a much quieter one, about the critical, hands-on work that was actually making these incredible technological leaps possible. And that work was being done by women at NASA. We're talking about pioneers like rocket scientist Annie Easley, the incredible mathematician Katherine Johnson, programming expert Dorothy Vaughan, and Margaret Hamilton, who literally invented the term software engineering. These are the role models whose stories the author was never taught in her entire computer science education. Now get this, this is an amazing detail. Their groundbreaking code wasn't just typed into a keyboard. It was sent to a nearby factory where expert seamstresses physically sewed the binary code, every single 1 and 0, with copper wire, hardwiring the software right into the Eagle lander. That is how Neil Armstrong made it to the moon.
So when you peel back all those layers of hype and you uncover these hidden stories, you start to see AI for what it really is. It's not some kind of magical force. It's a very, very human endeavor.
The myth is this science fiction idea of a ghost in the machine that's going to wake up one day and become self-aware. But the reality? AI is a tool. It's just an extension of us. It's not magic and it's not impossibly complex. Most of the time, it's just badly explained. So, what's actually driving its development? It's not some inevitable march towards consciousness. It's actually driven by three really human forces: fiction, which is the stories we tell ourselves about AI, fashion, the tech trends of the day, and finance, the money that decides which projects get to live and which ones die. At the end of the day, the author boils it down perfectly. A huge large language model like ChatGPT, it works on the same basic principle as the predictive text on your phone. Yeah, it's an incredibly powerful tool, but it is not magic. It's just math and engineering. And that brings us to the most important part of all. Once you understand that AI is a human-made tool shaped by human choices, that puts the power right back in our hands. So the real question isn't what will AI do to us? It's what will we do with it? Now that you know, what conversations are you going to start?